What's up? It's your boy Rashim from Behind the Muse here with another one. Episode where we take a deep look into the music and the trending topics that surround the music industry today. Now, today we are discussing a man who needs no introduction, a man that goes by the name of Jonathan Liddell Kirk, aka DaBacle. We're discussing DaBacle and his very, very controversial performance on Rolling Loud back on July 25th. Now, before we get too in-depth into that, I want you guys to please like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notifications on what we dropping so you don't miss a thing, because BTM, we're going to be dropping more stuff. We've already done this. We've already told y'all this. Y'all know how we coming. I ain't got to beat a horse with a dead stick. Beat a horse with a dead stick. A dead horse with a stick. Horse with a dead stick. I don't really know. Either way, that's what we're talking about. Without further ado, let's get to it.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Fellas.
Lights up.
Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in the air.
Let's be real about this shit.
Yeah, keep it fucking real.
Some of y'all niggas suspect as a motherfucker. Let's be real.
Bet. So on July 25th, DaBacle took the stage of the Rolling Loud Festival. It was the last day of the festival. Now, really, outside of his comments, this still would have been a very controversial performance, pretty much because of who he brought on with him. So he brought on the infamous Tory Lanez, just coincidentally right after Meg Thee Stallion did her set. So if you guys remember, back in 2020, Tory Lanez was accused of shooting Meg Thee Stallion in the foot. During that time, DaBacle had sided with Meg Thee Stallion, both publicly and privately. You know, they did music together and things like that. So it was just weird last month when they actually came together, Tory Lanez and DaBacle, they came together and made a song called Scat. Now, the song is a banger, don't get me wrong, but it definitely rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. They're just like, yo, I thought you and Meg Thee Stallion was cool. Like, what's going on? This set Twitter ablaze, and even Meg Thee Stallion was going back and forth with DaBacle on Twitter, pretty much saying, like, I thought you supported me, yada, yada, yada. DaBacle was just like, I do, don't let them hype you up. It was a whole thing. So to see after that, you know, after last month when that happened, to see him bring him out on stage with him to perform right after Meg Thee Stallion's set, it just felt way too coincidental, and it felt very intentional and purposeful. It didn't sit right with a lot of people. So a lot of people already was upset with that in itself, but then he said the comments, and I just played that clip. He said those comments, and then everybody went crazy. Somebody even threw a shoe at him on stage, like he did the George W. Bush, duck, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like George W. Bush had a better reflex. Now, as far as the list of people who actually have commented and condemned DaBacle's comments, the list goes on. You know, Questlove said something. Demi Lovato has mentioned that this is crazy and condemned his comments. Dua Lipa kind of rolled back her fans wanted her to cancel the remix, yo, take down the remix. But you know, she was like, I'm making money, so stop it. I do condemn his comment. Even Elton John has said something. So Elton John actually went on a rant on Twitter, pretty much saying yo, this is crazy. He ended that rant by saying, HIV, misinformation, and homophobia have no place in the music industry. We must break down the stigma around HIV and not spread it. As musicians, it's our job to bring people together. Elton John. Bro, if Elton John takes time out of his... I mean, let's be real. He ain't really doing nothing, playing the piano. If Elton John takes time out of his schedule to mention you and condemn you, dog, you probably messed up. Now, originally, DaBacle did mention that he meant no harm to anyone. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he pretty much said, as far as the gay comment, he didn't mean no harm. You know, his gay fans, the ones that don't suck pee-pee in the parking lot, they didn't have a problem with it. They had their phones in the air, according to DaBacle. So he was pretty much saying that he didn't mean this as a homophobic thing, just condemning one thing that some gay people do. His gay fans don't use dirty needles and things like that. Again, making that connection with HIV. He also apologized later. So he went on Twitter, pretty much said, anybody who done ever been affected by AIDS, HIV, y'all got the right to be upset. What I said was insensitive, even though I have no intentions on offending anybody. So my apologies. Then he went on and said, like, gay people, like, that's your business. I'm not gonna get into it. Yeah. DaBaby even came out with a video. So July 28th, this was last Wednesday, DaBaby released a music video to Giving What It's Supposed to Give, where he addressed his comments on that stage. In the video, DaBaby holds up a sign that says AIDS as he raps some lyric kind of seeming like he's okay with AIDS. Like, I didn't really understand the line. Then he ends the visual with a rainbow colored message that says, "Don't fight hate with hate," as well as, "My apologies for being me the same way you want the freedom to be you." T.I. and Lil Boosie also spoke to this effect, pretty much saying like, hey, if you guys are okay with Lil Nas X like being unapologetically, gay and free and things like that, y'all should be okay with this man speaking on whatever he had to speak on, having the freedom of speech. Which, to a certain degree, I would like to agree with it, but I don't. I very much don't. I think the difference between Lil Nas X being unapologetically black and free and gay, he's not hurting anyone. He's not telling you to be gay, or he's not, condemning heterosexual men. He's just being himself, and himself doesn't hurt anyone. Like, I feel like it's okay for everyone to be themselves. If you're being unapologetically black and not harming anyone, then that should be fine. But to compare Lil Nas X sexuality and how he chooses to express that with literal homophobic like comments and very ignorant comments on HIV and AIDS, those things are not comparable. Like, I really don't see the comparison here. That's not the same. That should never be morally okay, and that's the standard. So to be clear, this is not comparable to Lil Nas X just being him. That's not a thing. I do feel like obviously his comments were very ignorant. It was stupid, to say the least. Like, I don't really understand why he felt the need to say the things that he said and singled out people with AIDS. He singled out gay people, and he also singled out women in a derogatory way. But I mean, he's a rapper, so that's to be expected. But I just think in that situation, those things are not comparable, and his comments were not okay. Now, we understand that his comments were ignorant, homophobic in a certain way. I can see that. I can see how people can relate that to homophobia. We understand all that. Should he be receiving the amount of backlash he's receiving? I don't know about that. His pockets are definitely being hurt right now. Boohoo Band cut ties with him. This is a company that partnered with him. They were supposed to make a 100-piece summer collection. So like, fashion, things like that. They cut ties with him. Just today, Lollapalooza cut ties with him, said he was not allowed to perform there. Pretty much saying that that's not what Lollapalooza was founded on, and he's directly going against that. Even though it's these people's rights to do that, I do feel like they're doing that out of pressure from people are pressing these large companies to cut ties with DaBaby for his comments. I don't think that's okay. And at the essence, I understand it. I do think we should talk to DaBaby. I feel like, condemning DaBaby and saying like that's not right is fine, but why do we have to go so far into canceling this man? I don't understand the cancel culture, especially because it's DaBaby. This man came out in a diaper rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not the voice of reason. He has no moral responsibility to say the right things for you, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's constantly said crazy stuff. I mean, he constantly talks about shooting and killing people. No one has a cow about that. So I don't understand why he's being canceled. I know why he's being canceled. He's being canceled because it seems like he's spreading hatred. But even so, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why we have to go as far as to hurt this man's pockets. You can just, in a sense of, choose not to mess with him, and you can hurt his pockets in that way. But to demand, artists and these big festivals to like cut ties with them, I just feel like it's a bit much, and I do feel like we could direct our energy in a lot better places. Like, I don't know, R. Kelly, is he behind bars for what he did? What about Bill Cosby? Like, Bill Cosby is free now. Gay people still can't get married everywhere in the world. There's so many different places we can direct our energy besides just hating DaBaby for his opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, it was It was his show. He was on stage. He said what he said. It was completely ignorant. It was stupid. But who cares? I don't really understand why we're going this far and trying to cancel him. And if it does affect you, I would just challenge you to think, why does it affect you? Because everybody has opinions. Now, whether they voice those opinions or not is totally on them. Even if it was MGK, right? So let's say MGK got on Rolling Loud stage and was like, if your skin ain't brown, put your lighter in the air. Obviously, I'm gonna take offense to that. I'm gonna be like, really? You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't care that much, because it's just like, this one dude is a rapper. I mean, whether he says crazy things that jive with how I feel or he doesn't, he's a rapper in the end of the day. I mean, Eminem was talking about chopping up his mom and putting her in a trunk and crap, and people would still bump Eminem. Eminem's not canceled. So I don't understand it. I don't get it. But that being said, I do think his comments were stupid. They are not comparable to Lil Nas X and what Lil Nas X is doing. Obviously, sexuality and hateful words are different. Like, yes, we have the freedom to speak and to be expressive, but when it comes to, trying to hurt someone, then that's just different, and that should never be comparable. So that's how I feel about that. But as far as like how far we're taking this, I just think it's a bit much. That's my personal opinion, but that's all I got for you guys, man. Hey, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if I missed anything or something you would add. But that's how I feel. DaBaby, I mean, his name is Jonathan Liddell Kirk. Like, we really looking at Jonathan Liddell Kirk to be the voice of like, all right, that's all I got, man. I'll catch y'all later. Rasheem out. Peace.